My Chapter 11 findings for tracking have been kind of all over the board, and once I finally started reading some of the research, I really put myself into the shoes of the ideal school, and if I could rule the world in education is kind of how I ended up figuring out that I am probably 100% in support of tracking. What I came up with is that I was very concerned with how students are put the label on very early on in their early elementary career, to the point of if a kid understands that they are being pulled out for interventions, if they're being pulled out for reading help, math help, behavioral issues with speech pathology, all the other specialists that a kid possibly could be pulled out in a day for, they learn to not be able to socially be accepted amongst their peers. They socially are sometimes left out. And not sometimes, typically it ends up happening. I am a PE teacher, but also fill my day to make it be a full-time position, helping out in the fifth grade room for reading. I also pull out 4 students for a reading intervention. Years past, I have done science interventions, I have done larger group reading interventions, and those students ended up putting on more miles around the school because they are constantly being pulled out of their regular classroom to go get their intervention work done, to go see a specialist. And once I once I figured out that these students are out of the classroom and away from their regular peers more than they're in the classroom, I didn't understand how a kid can focus and function in a day. The kids that are already struggling and a little bit lower achievers are the ones that we're asking huge feats from and taking them out of what a normal classroom looks like. So what I figured in an ideal classroom, in an ideal world, if I could build a school, this is exactly how it would be kind of situation, is what I want to do is I would literally start tracking students coming out of kindergarten, first and second grade. I would put them with peers that they are learning at the same ability of them. And whether it be calling them Class A, Class B, or to a to the extent of tracking students that are high ability learners, high achievers, um, higher level learners, um, I think I'm okay with that. It's one of those things where students that need more challenging, if they're left in the classroom to pace at the same level as everyone else of 20 other students in the class, and they know more at that same level because they're so far ahead or so far below, I don't think a teacher really can teach to every single student's level in a classroom. If they were tracked to the point of abilities, students don't necessarily need another project. They don't need another test. They don't need another assignment to be considered overachievers or high learners. They can be taught at a level that is pushed, yet they're still enhancing their learning in the classroom without add-ons by a teacher. On the other extreme, students that are struggling are students that typically would be pulled out of the classroom because of an intervention, because of the level they can read at or the level they can function at. Instead of pulling them out of the classroom, they would be with peers of their liking to work at that level, to have assignments at that level, and a teacher that would understand that. And it's one of those things where from year to year, yes, a student can be evaluated, and it's not just on your NISA, just not on your MAPS testing, but how are they testing in the classroom? How are they being able to function at the level of the class that you put them with? And I guess when it comes right down to it, all the research that you found, the biggest thing of cons of tracking is um, that they always get that label, and that label never leaves a student. And that's very hard for kids that are aware right out of the gates that they have been given that label and they can't get out of that label. I think that it's one of those things where if they're not leaving the classroom, if they're not receiving extra help by leaving the classroom, they're going to feel that they're functioning in the classroom that they've been assigned. Um, I think that students should be pushed more that are well above the level that they're at. I feel that witnessing students in the classroom now that are above other students, they get put over in the corner and they get told to go read their AR book if they get done early with an assignment, or they may get to get another app on their iPad or get more computer time to do IXL or be pushed in that sense. And I don't know if I agree with that. I think that a teacher knows best, and a teacher can use resources to push a student if they are all grouped together instead of having the student go off and learn on their own or be paced on their own because they got done with an assignment early. So um, I guess it comes back to, if I could rule the world and I could have my own ideal educational setting, it would be to put students that are paced and at the same level in classrooms. Thank you.